So if you're a Citrix admin, you know this feeling, right? Everything's running smooth as silk, and then, bam. Seemingly out of nowhere, performance just tanks. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most maddening problems an admin can face, when your system is only sometimes slow.
Does this look familiar? I bet it does. It's the classic ticket. Citrix is slow every morning. I mean, it was perfectly fine yesterday afternoon, but this morning, totally different story. It's that super vague complaint that can send you down a long, frustrating rabbit hole.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. I mean, the hardware is the same, the software hasn't changed, yet the user experience is like night and day. See, that tells you this isn't random at all. It's a pattern. And that pattern, well, that's our first big clue. So let's start digging.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why time is such a critical clue. Then, we'll unmask the 3 most common culprits behind these time-based problems. After that, we'll switch gears and learn how to think like a seasoned investigator. And finally, we'll wrap up with how you can stop these things from happening in the first place.
All right, let's dive into our first big idea. When you're troubleshooting, you have to remember that time itself isn't the problem. It's the context. It's the key that's going to unlock this whole mystery for us.
Just think about it for a second. If an issue were really, truly random, troubleshooting would be an absolute nightmare. But when a user says it's slow every morning, a light bulb should go off. That one little word, every, transforms a chaotic mess into a predictable pattern. And patterns, they give us a trail to follow.
So, if we've got a pattern, that means we have a culprit. It's time to unmask the 3 usual suspects and bring them in for a little questioning.
Our first, and by far the most common offender, is the morning login surge. You know exactly what I'm talking about. At 8:59 a.m., the system is quiet. It's peaceful. But at 9:01 a.m., hundreds, maybe even thousands of users are all trying to log in at the exact same moment.
And this isn't a gentle ramp-up. It's a tidal wave of demand hitting your system all at once. Suddenly, your domain controllers are just flooded. Your profile servers are getting hammered from every direction. Every single piece of your infrastructure is getting put under this immense, simultaneous stress. It is the absolute perfect recipe for those painfully slow logins.
And wow, this chart says it all, doesn't it? Just look at that difference. At 2 p.m., your system might be just cruising along at 40% load. But at 9 a.m., it's pushed to the red line, near its breaking point. And that's exactly why some tiny hidden bottleneck that you'd never see during normal hours suddenly becomes a massive roadblock during that morning surge.
Okay, our next suspect is a close cousin to the first one, but it has its own unique signature, the dreaded Monday morning slowdown. Users will swear that Mondays feel extra sluggish, and you know what? They're not imagining it.
And there are some really good reasons for this. After a quiet weekend, your systems are kinda just waking up. Maybe some weekend maintenance jobs are still finishing up. Background tasks that were queued are all processing at once, and system caches are being rebuilt from scratch. The system is essentially stretching and yawning after a long nap, right at the exact moment everyone decides to show up for work.
And our final culprit, this one is probably the trickiest of all, the post-patch day effect. You did everything right. You tested your patches, you deployed them over the weekend, everything looked good. So why on earth are users calling on Monday with all these weird new issues?
Here's the crucial thing to remember. Even a perfectly installed patch is still a change to the environment. It can subtly alter how much memory a service uses, or maybe it introduces a tiny compatibility issue that just didn't pop up in your testing. The takeaway is simple. Just because a patch installed without any errors doesn't mean it hasn't changed the fundamental behavior of your system. Okay, so we've identified our suspects. Now for the important part. How do we find the evidence to prove which one is guilty? This is where we stop thinking like a regular admin and start thinking like a true system investigator.
The single most powerful technique you have is comparison. Sure, a log file from a slow morning is useful, but you know what's 1,000 times more useful? That same log file compared to one from a fast afternoon. It's like having a before and after picture. You have to establish a baseline of what good looks like. Without that context, you're just staring at numbers, flying completely blind.
So the process is very methodical. First, you gather data from both the good times and the bad times. Then, you compare those trends side by side. Next, you hunt for the specific things that are different, the deviations from your healthy baseline. And finally, you correlate those deviations with real-world events, like that login surge or a patch deployment, to find your root cause.
Finding the culprit feels great, but the real victory is making sure the crime can never happen again. So let's move on to our final section and talk about how to build a more resilient, more predictable system.
Building a really stable environment really just comes down to a few key strategies. First, and this is a big one, plan for your peaks, not your averages. That means optimizing that login process specifically for the 9 a.m. rush. Second, be smart about your scheduling. Move heavy-duty tasks like backups to those quiet off-peak hours. And finally, always be monitoring. Proactive monitoring lets you spot these trends and fix them before they ever turn into a problem for your users.
And this, right here, this is the ultimate goal. When you really understand these time-based patterns, you get to stop being a firefighter and you start being a fire marshal. You're no longer just reacting to problems, you're anticipating them. You can see a Monday morning slowdown on the horizon and take steps to prevent it before a single user even notices.
And this is really the core lesson of it all. Time-based issues are not random. They are messages from your system telling you exactly how it behaves when it's under stress. Your job as the investigator is to learn how to speak its language.
So, the next time you get that ticket that just says it's sometimes slow, don't groan. See it for what it is. The first clue. It's an invitation to look at your own environment with a fresh set of eyes and to uncover the hidden patterns that are waiting there for you. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.